Hello, everybody. It is episode number 3 of the Traders Podcast here at Courage Pays Better Than Fear Trading. I am your host, Jeremy Hritz. Very excited to be doing episode number 3 for all of you here as we continue to roll through into 2024, coming up on the midpoint of January. Markets close this Monday for MLK Day. They're closed next Monday. So losing 2 trading days, but that's okay. There's ample opportunity out there for everyone in the markets. But I'm excited to be here with all of you for episode number 3. We're doing at least one show a week. We're going to ramp that up to more than one here as time goes on. This is fun for me. I love to talk trading. It is my passion. But just want to thank everybody for their support the first 2 episodes and for sharing your comments, sharing with your family and friends. That is very important to me. I appreciate it. And I'm sure that you saw this past week, we did have a new episode of our flagship podcast, Courage Pays Better Than Fear. My good friend, Edmund Fontana. We talked about the importance of adventure in your life. That was episode 28. 29 will be coming this week, a little bit shorter. I'm going to talk about my adventure in this new year. And excited to do all that. Before I get into all that, just a reminder, at the end of January 29th through February 2nd, Courage Pays Better Than Fear Trading is going to be offering their first beginners trading boot camp. It's 5 days. It's packed with information to help get you started, day trading, swing trading, active investing, whatever it is that you want to do. So I highly encourage you to sign up for that. If you haven't, there is a link below on my Facebook in order for you to register. Check that out. It will be recorded, so even if you can't be there in person for it, it will be something that you can watch, check back into the videos, but try to be there live so that you can have all of your questions answered real time. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to be having other courses this year. We're going to have a day trading course, which I'm really excited to share with everyone. We're going to have a swing trading course. We're going to have courses on trading options. So much value coming your way. Can't wait to share that with all of you, and be on the lookout for some of the things that Edmund and I are going to be doing to share this with our young people in the world, our children, empowering them, teaching them about financial education, not financial education from the perspective of Dave Ramsey paying down debt. We're talking about building wealth through the markets, through real estate. So a lot of information coming that way to make sure that we're helping change the financial lives of our children early on. So be on the lookout. But for today's show, I wanted to start with just one of the questions that I get from a lot of people who are new to trading, to investing, is how in the hell do I get started with this? Where do I start? And what advice can you give me to begin my journey into trading and investing in the markets? And I thought about that, and I wanted to open today's podcast, episode number 3, with, to me, what I feel are the best approaches to do that are. Okay. The first thing is to download the application TradingView. Now, this is a web-based app. You can also download it as an app that's separate on your desktop. But what TradingView is you see all the candlestick charts that I post on my socials. This is how you're going to study, read, learn, and interpret your stocks. And it's where you're going to find all your candlestick charts. You can control the time frame, whether those are 1-minute charts, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, daily, monthly, you name it, it's all covered here. But you need to have your study materials if you're going to be a trader, an investor, and that's what TradingView is. It's going to be the tool that you are going to use to understand how the stocks that you trade work, what their patterns are, how they move, what their seasonality is, all those things. And so it's really simple. Go www.tradingview.com, create a free account. There's free accounts available, and just start taking a look at stocks. That's where it's got to begin. Begin really basic. And one of the cool features about TradingView is whatever stocks that you're looking at, in the bottom right-hand corner, it's going to have a little news feed. So let's say Tesla is one of those companies that you follow. What you're going to find every day populated in that news feed are things that are happening surrounding Tesla. Or if it's Apple, you're going to have news stories about Apple. So your first step, if you want to learn more about this and you want to become a trader, or you want to become an investor, download TradingView. Again, that's tradingview.com. Start with the free version. When you're ready, you can upgrade. You're going to want to upgrade if you're going to do this to make money, but it's pretty cheap. But that's your first step. The second step is pick 1 or 2 stocks. That's it, that you really want to learn. Maybe it's Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Nvidia, ExxonMobil. I don't know. What's a company that you really, really like? You use their products. You have some connection to this company. And you probably have companies like that. But what you're going to do is you have your TradingView account. Now you're going to bring up the stock chart for Roku, right? And you're going to look at the chart on Roku. You're going to see its highest price all time, its lowest price, how it's moved recently. All those things you're able to see on those charts. And when you're focusing on just 2 stocks, you're going to become an expert, right? So maybe you're the Roku expert or the Netflix expert, or I don't know, put your stock name here. But one of the misconceptions about trading and investing is that you have to look at 100 different stocks. You have to have 8 monitors up, and you're like this mad scientist. You're monitoring all these things, but that's nonsense. In trading, from my experience, when you try to do too much, that's when you're going to lose money. However, when you are focused and you have just a few things that you're paying attention to and you're really working on, that's what's going to empower you to become an expert. So get your TradingView, pick your 2 stocks, whether that's Apple or whatever, and become an expert. Study them. Read those news articles that I told you about. Learn the patterns. Learn how to trade them, and then make it a point every day to study and learn how those particular stocks move. All right. So those are your first 2 steps. The third step is very straightforward, is invest in your education with trading and investing. And here's the thing, there is so much free content out there online to learn how to trade and invest, right? One of the brokers that I recommend, Interactive Brokers, IBKR, they have a free platform of online videos and courses that you could take to learn how to trade and invest. There are tons of educational companies out there who put this information out there for free in order for you to learn how to trade the markets. So it doesn't cost much of anything. And there are good quality, high quality free courses out there that you can give your time to, take the time to complete the courses to learn and begin learning how to trade and invest in the markets. And that's what it's going to take. If this is something that you really want to do, you're going to have to put the time in. And one of the biggest misnomers with trading is people ask me all the time, can anybody do this? Can anybody really make money trading and investing? And my response is no, not everybody can. And here's the biggest deciding factor in this. If you're not a hard worker, if you're not goal-oriented, if you don't have a perseverant attitude and mindset to where you can get knocked down, you can lose, you encounter adversity, but you still get up and you keep coming back after it. If you don't have that type of mindset, this is not for you. So not everybody can be successful trading. You have to have that no quit, never say die attitude. You have to be willing to work hard, because a lot of people think, oh, trading is just a get rich quick scheme. No, it's not. It's just like anything. You have to put the time into it to learn it, to perfect it, to refine it, and then you have to practice that over and over and over. It's not different from a sport that an athlete works at to get better at, or a musical instrument, or learning a language. You have to put the time in to become fluent in it. So that's where that education component comes into play. And when you're really ready, when you're really committed to this and you know, hey, this is something I want to do, I want to take this further, then that's when you take your education to the next level and you get a coach, you get a mentor, somebody who's done it, you work with them, you learn from somebody who lives it and does it. And that's going to accelerate your growth in this domain. So there you have it. those three pieces of information that I would give to anybody who's jumping into the markets and beginning to learn. Download TradingView, pick your one or two stocks, become an expert, and invest in your education. Tons of free courses out there. And when you're ready, elevate and move on to a live coach mentor, somebody who does it, and that will just take you to the next level. So that's what I wanted to hit on first here, just giving that information to people who are considering pursuing or getting into the arena of trading and investing. But then I also wanted to take a little bit more time to continue talking about my story, how I got here as a full-time trader. Again, you guys familiar, if you've listened to episodes 1 and 2, that I was a high school principal in my former life for 7 years. Prior to that was a high school assistant principal. 1 year was an assistant principal in a middle school. Before that was a high school English teacher. So education is in my bones. Part of why Courage Pays Better Than Fear Trading exists. But one of the questions that's come up is, how did I overcome that fear in making the decision to quit my job as principal to become a trader? And here's what I could tell you is the decision. I'd said last week that I met with my friend Emmett Fontana the day before. I went to work that next day, not knowing I was going to quit my job. I didn't know, like, oh yeah, I'm going to quit my job today. I didn't know it, but something came over me and I was inspired. And I was like, you know what? Now's the time. It's now or never. I'm either going to do this now or I'm never going to make the decision. And I'm never going to know what is possible. And so I just felt this inspiration. I have no other way to describe it, where I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. Whatever I have to do, I'm going to do it. And was I feeling fearless? No. I was scared out of my mind. Again, I 3 young children, family, safe job, insurance, right? Reliable, steady income. But for whatever reason, I knew the pain of staying in that position was far greater than trying something on my own, failing at it, and having to come back. And so how did I overcome the fear? The fear was there. I just bet on myself. I just said, you know what? I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. And just had that belief in myself that I can make it happen. And, you know, there were ups, there were downs early on, probably more downs than ups. But I look at where I am today and I'm so thankful that I made that decision. And so for those of you out there, and it doesn't have to be with trading, but whatever that decision is that you're afraid of, sometimes you just have to make the decision without all the information, let it rip and see where you go. And if you bet on yourself and you believe in yourself, you can make it work. You can be successful. And one of the other questions I get too is, what's the biggest difference for you now being your own boss, you know, not having a supervisor? What's the biggest difference between this world now for me as a trader versus the one where I was a W-2 employee as a principal? And there really are no similarities between what I was doing to what I'm doing now. And I'll try to highlight some of those. But the biggest thing is, nobody is responsible for what you're doing on a daily basis or has to hold you accountable. It's you. And so you could be a lazy ass and sit in bed all day and not do jack shit and go broke. Nobody's coming to say, hey, you got to get up, you got to trade, you got to practice this. Nobody's doing that for you. You have to have ultimate self-accountability to make this work. You don't have a boss, you don't have a supervisor, you don't have anything like that, right? Now it's a blessing, but it's also it's hard work, right? Because you have to stay motivated. You have to keep yourself up. You don't have anybody pushing you to do things. It's on you at the end of the day. And I love that about what I do, because I know at the end of the day, whether I'm profitable or unprofitable from trading, when I look in the mirror, I know that it's me who's responsible for that. I love that. There's nobody else that I could point the finger at. I love that accountability component. One of the other biggest differences is I don't follow a schedule. So I don't have to be at work at a particular time. I don't have to be in meetings. I freaking hate Meetings. If there are any of my people out there from that are still at school, I'm so sorry for all the meetings that I used to have. What a waste of time. Meetings are a waste of time because a lot of times we can knock all the stuff out that we accomplish in a meeting in an email, right? So I don't have that anymore. I get to design my day. I'm on my own schedule. So I can allocate my time as I see fit. Now, for somebody who doesn't have the ability to manage their time or use their time appropriately, it can be difficult, right? But there's no boundaries. There's no structure on the day other than the boundaries or structure that I put on it myself. So that's another significant difference. And the other part is that, and this is probably the part that I enjoy the most, is I get to pursue whatever it is that I want to do. So again, I trade maybe 2 hours a day. That's in the morning. I trade market open 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And sometimes if my trade's complete from 9:30, it's done by 9:50, I'm done the rest of the day. And it's given me the lifestyle where I'm able to pursue other things, right? Where I could create podcasts. I love podcasting. I love sharing. I love teaching. I'm able to do that. I'm able to cover my favorite football team and do a podcast for them and to write about my team. So it's just, it empowers me to be creative and do all the things that forever I wanted to do and not have to do them because I'm looking to generate profit from it, because that's all taken care of through my trading. I can pursue my passions. And most importantly, I'm able to allocate my time to my family, to my children, which is something that I wasn't able to do when you're in a time-based business and you have to be somewhere and accounted for every minute of your day. So there's a ton of freedom in this world, but it's not for everybody. Again, you have to be a very independent, self-directed, driven person, disciplined person, because if you're not that, it's going to be very difficult for you to thrive in this type of setting because the freedom is immense, right? But I like to work. I like to work at goals. I like to work at accomplishing things, and I'm able to decide what those things are. Nobody's going to set a goal for me and say that we have to have X number of people sign up for this program. No, the goals are the goals that I create for my company, for my business, for my trading. It's just an amazing feeling. And for those of you out there who are considering leaving your W-2 behind and going and pursuing whatever it is that you want to pursue, you can make it happen. If you want to talk to me about it, please connect and I'll walk you through my story. But it is possible, and I want everybody to know that out there. And lastly, I'm going to close up the show. I had some other questions that came through in the comments. One of them was, what's your win percentage on your trades? How do we separate you from some of the fake people who are out there? So, I do track my trades, but the way that I track my trades is based on my profit and loss at the end of each day. So that's how I evaluate myself. Now, there are a lot of people who don't do it that way. They do a percentage on trades that they win. And I used to keep track of that, so I could tell you, all right, I had a 63% win percentage this month, but mine is all based on profit. At the end of the day, regardless of what other people say and how they approach trading, I'm looking to generate money and income and profit from my trading. And so that's how I evaluate myself, whether I made $1, $50, $5,000, $20,000. If I'm in the green, to me, that's a successful day. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm winning all the time. I do have losing days, but the key is to lose smaller than you win. But that's how I evaluate my success. So in terms of a win percentage, I can't give you anything accurate, but I would say that my win percentage on my trades in a month, I would say between 65%, right? And you might think, hey, that's pretty low. But again, when you maximize your winners and you have big, massive winners and you have small losers, that's how you're going to be profitable. Um, biggest loss. So my biggest loss starting out, this is another question I got too. And I remember it. I told this story on a few podcasts that I was on. It was $7,000. I was trying to short Nvidia back in October of 2022. It happened to be when the lows of the bear market had come in, and then it started to rally in a bullish direction. And man, that was a rough go because I was just starting my journey there. And I remember losing $7,000, thinking to myself, how am I going to make it work this month? And just asking myself all these questions. Man, can I do this? Can I be a professional trader? Can I make this work? I didn't know. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to ask yourself those questions. But I'm so glad that I stuck with it. And now I've had losses that are significantly bigger than that. But I've also had winners that are significantly bigger than any losing trades that I've ever had. And so the losses are going to come. And that's one of the biggest things and reasons why people quit trading is because they can't handle losing. You learn a lot about yourself and your ego through trading. And if losing is something that's difficult for you, trading is going to be difficult for you because it's definitely part of this process. So hopefully I answered some of your questions that you had for me about the jump that I made from the W2 world to where I am now, and some of the questions about my trading. So hopefully you found some value in today's episode. And again, this is a lot of fun for me. And I'm just so happy that you're taking time to watch this. Hopefully you learned something from it. If you have questions, please post them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Share this podcast with anyone out there who you feel would benefit from this or who wants to learn the markets. Have them reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to chat with them. And if you have a topic that you'd like to see covered in episode number 4, please let me know. I will customize and tailor it to you because I can. This is my show. But that's going to do it for episode number 3 of the Traders Podcast here at Courage Pays Better Than Fear Trading. I hope you have a phenomenal week. Don't forget about the Courage Pays Better Than Fear podcast with Edmund Fontana. Check out those new episodes and have a phenomenal week. And remember, the markets are amazing. And yes, you can trade them if you have the discipline, the dedication, the work ethic, and belief that you can do it. All right. Let the markets change your life. They've changed my life. I want to share that with everyone. If I can help you in any way, do that. Please let me know. In the meantime, make it a phenomenal day. Take care, everyone.